Hello everybody, I hope you're all keeping well and everybody had a wonderful Easter break. Seems like it's been a while since I've been on here, and it is a while. I've been working on these two little journals. They are pretty much exactly the same. There's just a couple of little differences. I did try to keep them as close to being the same as I absolutely could, but like there's one number here and a different number here, just slight differences like that, and that's all that the difference is. So I'm going to try and show you both, but I'll show you one and then quickly show you the other, just so it doesn't take too much time up. So I've numbered them. This is number 1 and this one is number 2, like that, and I've just tied that to that is the binding string. It's just a little bit of waxed thread which goes through a button there, and it's knotted off about 3 times. I left the long ends on, so whoever gets it can either trim them off, a little bit towards the button there, but don't cut the knots off, or they can put some beads or something like that on them. So that's the spine. The cover is actually made from canvas. They're my husband's painting pants, and the size he gets, they're very long in the leg. So I end up having to cut, a good, probably, well, a bit more than that off. So these journals are 6 inches by about 4 inches with about a 1 1/4 inch spine. They are 1 signature, and I did manage to keep it just to 1 signature and not too big. So as I said, they are stitched, and they are my husband's tea-dyed canvas from his pants. I collect them every time he gets new pants over the years. I just keep them because they're really good. It's very durable and very thick. And then I've put some vintage trim. I've put some muslin from Crafty Me shop, some trim that I found at the op shop. This lovely piece of fabric that I found at the op shop, and that was actually the inspiration for these little journals. It was only a little piece of fabric, well, not too little, but a small piece of fabric. It was in the filler bag bin, but I didn't want a whole bag, so she charged me 20 cents for this piece of fabric, and I just loved the washed out color of it, so I've used it on the front of these journals. I have some beautiful vintage trim down the side. I have a Crafty Me shop flower here, and I have used a few things from Crafty Me shop. I'm not labeling it as a design project though, but I will link the store in the description box below. I have some lovely wallpaper here, which I also found when I was out thrifting. That's what I've used as my backdrop as well. Some mother of pearl buttons, a number stamped, and that is the sample stamps. And I've done machine stitching in various places around the cover. The back you could use as a little pocket if you wanted to. I haven't put anything in there, but that would be an individual thing. And I've put my name on the back as well. And the closure is a piece of fabric that I have ripped and just tied in about the side. And that's what that looks like. And that's that one there. So pretty much identical, or very close to it. Okay, so let's have a look inside here. Some of the laces may have little marks on it because they're vintage, they're old. Like this one's got a stain here because it's very old. It came from the thrift shop as well. Okay, so let's have a look. This is the inside cover. I've used a cereal liner bag or part of, folded over and stitched to the inside cover on the front and the back. That is the only time I've used the cereal bag within this journal, and that was just to give it a little bit of a nice noise. This gorgeous fabric flower here with the mother of pearl button. I just stitched that lace to the canvas, so it is a soft cover journal. Let's just show you this one, so you can see that they are very, very, very similar. Okay, inside the pocket here, I have 2 snippets, and these are hand stitched. I actually made these maybe even a year or 2 ago now. A long time ago I made these, and they were up in my collection of making things, putting them to the side and never doing anything with them. They have little mother of pearl buttons on, and I thought, well, they can be used by whoever gets the journal to do with what they please. I've also put a stenciled tag in there, so I'll put those down. And of course the little snippets are a little bit different because they were made as a set I was just playing around with, and of course they're not all exactly the same, so I'll just show you these. They're very similar though. So there's that one there, and there's that one there. There you go. And they're done on a little bit of quilted fabric, and that's the tag there. Okay, whoops, oh, I've got a catch on my thumb. Things like to stick to. Okay, so there we go. I'm just trying to think the easiest way to do this. Okay, here we go. First page, I just have another one of those. Now it's like the number on the front here. It's some printables by Sample, and I think they're called snippets or something. I will put it on the screen, and a little flower with glitter in the front there. I'll go through one and then I'll quickly flip through the other. That might be the easiest way. Some vintage trim stitched on to that page. A little bit of Crafty Me Shop lace in there. Some tea-stained paper. More of the stamped images. And then we have a little pocket. And now I've used fabric as a page. I was inspired by the little Tim Holtz fabric books, but I didn't want it all fabric. You know, I like to have a journal you can write in. But I inserted a fabric page every so often. I have made books like that before, but you know, I just thought I'd do it. This is an old file folder. It's in this beautiful green colour. I absolutely love it. It's got that real vintage look to it. So I've made a little notebook with that, and it just has a few different pages in there. I think about 28 pages in all. And this is a lovely piece of vintage, probably a bit of doily or something like that I have glued to the front of that. So there's gluing and stitching and hand stitching in here. A little pocket with some vintage trim, some vintage lace, paper, and some flowers. And that is stitched onto that page. This is a lovely piece of lace from Crafty Me Shop. And what I've done, I'll just bring that up, is I've just put a stitch there, there, and there to hold it into place. See how I've done that? And so whoever gets it can leave it there, or they can just enjoy it. Some vintage lace, and also the stamped snippet down the side there. A little bit of stenciling, and that is a Stamperia stencil. Just a little, it's like a tuck spot, I guess. You could use it. I haven't put anything in there. It's on both sides. More of the little snippet stamps. Bit of that fabric there, and some grey paper with some vintage trim, more stenciling. A little bit of the Tim Holtz lace dye here. A little charm on the side, and that gorgeous trim that I found thrifting a while ago. That is a sample. It's Shabby doily. I think that's what it's called. It's There we go, that might be easier to see. It's ever so lightly stained up. Some music, a bit of, music paper, just ruffled fabric with a stitched on flower. Tim Holtz lace dye. More of the fabric, a little bit of Crafty Me Shop lace sewn on. And I've left space on the fabric, so if you wanted to put some of your own lace on, you could, like I tacked that one on. You could tack something on. You could pin it on with a pin. It just gives you somewhere, to put your own additions. Just a cluster going down the side of that page. Little tuck spot with a collage tag in there. Some beautiful lace from Crafty Me Shop. More stenciling. Some beautiful antique laces there. And they're just stitched on across the top with some vintage sequins. And I left little tatty ends of the sequins there as well. On that side there's some beautiful, beautiful antique lace. Isn't that just gorgeous? And that is, you'll see a running stitch across the top there, holding that in place. And a running stitch here just holding this little Paris tab. And that was from Crafty Me's shop. It was a strip of fabric that had the word Paris stamped on it. So I just popped that there. Some, I think that is German dictionary paper. Little sample card there. And a journal spot with some sari silk bow. Little fabric flowers, and that's the middle of our signature. More vintage trim there, and I've just threaded some tulle going through, and I've glued that one on. Have I glued it? Yes, I've glued that one on. Just a belly band with it's like the inside page of a book. It's very old, so it's quite fragile, but I love the colour of it. And that just tucks in there. There's the other side of that dictionary paper. That's a Crafty Me Shop flower there. And this is a printable, I'm just trying to think what that one came from. Who that one belongs to. I just thought that greeny colour sort of goes in with that colour. There's very little colour in this journal. There's that doily die again, and that is some gorgeous antique trim. Once again, just tacked at the bottom and at the top. And that side left blank. Costa, Tim Holtz doily, and stenciling there. The other side of that lovely lace from Crafty Me Shop. This is just a tag, and I've covered it in lace and then added, I had a few of these left from a project I'd made a while ago, so I attached it to the front, just a little cluster there. Some of this wallpaper and vintage lace down the bottom there. A little flip of lace, some beautiful, beautiful antique piece there. Another one of those word snippets, charm, and I've stitched on a fabric flower there as well. That is just another piece of that file folder, and with the leftover bits of paper I've just made a little notebook and added a bit of lace and popped it over the top of this graph paper here with one of these clips. So you can write little notes on there. Another one of those snippet words. Just some old lace that was in a bundle with something I found thrifting, and then I've put a flower there. I've glued the flower on there, but then I stitched it on further down. That is also a little tuck spot that you can tuck things in. It's just some little sample buttons there that I made a while ago. It's actually a file folder, and I've folded it a few times to make it look old. Stenciling, more of that fabric, a bit of lace there. And that's just a little sample I did that has the trims that I've used in here. It all has a little bit of the wallpaper, a flower from Crafty Me Shop, and a bit of fabric with some sequins, these beautiful vintage sequins, and French knots in the centre of it, and a mother of pearl button. You can see they're all stitched on at the back there. And there's a little charm. That doesn't have to stay there. That can be moved around to wherever you might like to put it. There's some antique trim on the bottom there. And that's a milk glass, little milk glass bead on the bottom. And that's all stitched on like in a large couching stitch. A little bit of that doily die there. A little collage, just a corner tuck, and I've just used some of this grey paper and stitched some dictionary paper and graph paper on the outside, and just let little tags to go in there, just out of index card. And that just tucks in there like that. I have some tatting going up the top of that, a little bit of doily, a little coin charm with a safety pin as well. And it's from Angela Barnum, and it's some wallpaper. And that's left. A beautiful piece of I think that might be antique, that lace. It's so beautiful. And mother of pearl button there. It's not a tuck spot, it's just the lace. Some more of those words and things I've just stapled on a tool bow. The other side of that beautiful lace from Crafty Me Shop, I have just a ruffle piece of cotton with some tulle and flowers. More stenciling. Then on the back page we have the pocket, which I've put a bow on this one and I've just stitched it on. And then I've made a little notebook. This is from a Stamperia collection. I think it's the Princess collection. I haven't really used it yet, and I really want to use it, but because it had some of these green and blue colours in it, I thought I'll use the sheet. And that's the back of it, and I've just made a little notepad, and I've used one of these file fasteners again. I think I used one in my last journal as well, and there's about 28 pages in there to write on, and that goes in the back there. And that is the journal, and I will quickly flip through the other one so that you can see that they are very, very much the same. I did try, because sometimes if they're too different, then people really do have a preference. But when they're so close together, it really doesn't matter. So number 1, and this is number 2. So I showed you those things in there that are slightly different, but not very. So we'll just go through. Same sort of thing. Little booklet in there with the graph pages and things. It's tacked on, the same lace. Probably slightly different word, that's all. But I did try and keep the look of the words the same. I didn't want to print another set out, that's all. Stencil, the little tuck spot. Little charm. The charms are all the same. The doily. Of course, the staining on the lace pieces will be slightly different, but Even that I tried to keep very similar. In the sequins. And that. Same sort of thing. The lace will be, it's the same lace, but of course, you know, it'll be the next part up, so very similar but not exact. That is like a tuck spot. Little bow. I don't think I mentioned that. There is a little, tiny little bow there. Oh, and that's a linen button. I think the other one had a linen button as well. Another charm, another piece of lace, another stitched on flower. Same sort of thing there. That's a little tuck spot. Same thing here. And we come to the back page. The only difference is, of course, there's a different door image. The other one, I had to glue a picture of a door on it. This one is the actual image, but other than that, they're the same. Same sort of thing. There we go. Those are the lovely little journals that I've made, and I hope you like those. I thoroughly enjoyed. I had to stop myself from adding more and more because I wanted to, but then I used a bit of self-control this time. And I like the way they turned out. I'm not exactly sure how many pages they have. I will definitely count them up, and because I would take a couple of photos, put it in the description box below. I'm thinking maybe about 60 pages, but then you've got the addition of 2 little booklets with 28 pages each, plus journal spots and things like that. So there's plenty of room for journaling in there. So that one was number 2 that I just showed you. Let's just tighten that little bow there. So that's number 2, and that was number 1. Obviously, you can take these off, whoever gets it, but that's just so I can, you know, make sure people are getting the right thing. So I hope you enjoyed seeing those. And now I can get back on with some stitching. I need to finish up my Circle of Friends piece for Jeanette. It'll be there this month, Jeanette, even if I have to express mail it to you. And also do some work on my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. And these are will be for sale in my Etsy store. They'll probably be in there when I put this video up. I just need to take some photos. And they will also come with a little bag. I made these for my previous journal, but my journal didn't fit in them. And I will just pop them in just as a little, nice little feature. And they'll just go in like that. Just put that like that. One's slightly bigger than the other one, but that's okay. And you can use, whoever gets it can use it for whatever they want. But I just thought they kind of match, with the flowers and things like that on the front. So it would be nice to use them. And they're just paper bags, very pretty paper bags. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye.